Good afternoon. This is going to be a video for Shin Arashi Martial Arts. I've really been struggling to think of the things that we can be doing during isolation, that when we come back out of isolation, it's a new skill we've developed, or reinforcement of an existing skill. To that end, this video will be about kicks, proprioception, balance, and how they interrelate. So initially I was going to talk a lot more about balance, but let's talk about proprioception for just a minute. Proprioception is one's awareness of the body within space, where we are relative to ourselves and the things around us. That is what sticking hands really develops, is tactile sensitivity and proprioception, being able to know exactly where your arm is in relation to your center line, both distance away and distance off and distance of. So one of the best Wing Chun books I ever read, Mastering Kung Fu, I think is the name of it, talks, so a lot of martial arts books, a lot of martial arts videos, a lot of teachers talk really high about physics and anatomy and blah, 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 blah. And then when they actually get into it, they kind of forget to show where it actually is. And that's something I've really, really tried to not do in our training. But this book talks about things being relative in time and space. So when we talk about the center line and the nipple line, the elbow line, and the quadrants or the trigrams all around us and the heights, getting from point A and B in that space takes time and takes energy, okay? And how much energy does it expel getting there? How much energy does it gain getting there? Those are the kind of things we talk about when we're sticking hands. And I want to kind of apply that to low line stuff, okay? So Shin Arashi martial arts primarily takes its kicks from Wing Chun, or the idea of kicking from Wing Chun. But I have studied, and students of ours have studied, Muay Thai kickboxing, karate taekwondo, salat, even capoeira and stuff like that. And so we've stolen some stuff, and some stuff it's more important to know that it exists than to practice it. Know it exists so that way you know the angle it's coming from. So you can say that most of our kicks are from belt line down. And that's true, but it's not exact. So I drew this little chart. Forgive my terrible art. Okay, I hope you can see that. All right, so the red guy there represents, the anatomic position of a human being, and that diamond shape is to represent where percentages of kicks land. So most of our kicks we want in the thigh and groin area. And the further you get away from that, up or down, the less of them there will be. Something from our Krabong that we take is, if I cross stomp kick or I push kick to their center or below their center, I have to understand it's going to crumple. Okay, slip off. This dummy only comes up to there. If this came into here, it would be perfect. But all right. So, anyways, if I throw low, okay, or if I even throw center, he hinges at the hips and his head's probably coming forward. So, an important thing in Krav Maga is kicking when the opponent has a weapon. You want to kick, slide this knot out of the way, more at the very bottom of the chest to push their torso back. So that is probably the highest kick in our core curriculum. if you've got a student, if you're a student, and you can do head kicks, you can do taekwondo or kickboxing or capoeira or karate head kicks, keep them, because you will be a benefit to other students. When you're sparring, you'll be able to throw the kick and they'll be able to apply the defenses that we're talking about, okay? That kick is more for dueling than it is skirmishing or battle or hunt, okay? But it's a useful thing, and if it's not hurting you, right, maintain it because it's a good physicality thing. Be safe with it. Don't be afraid to use it in sparring, but learn when to use it. Less for self-defense. But, you know, how many 2-year Taekwondo black belts are still floating around? How many people watch MMA? You know, so somebody might have picked up a high kick, so we should know how to defend it. All right, so most of the kicks are going to go into the thigh and groin area. Round kick, tie style round kicks to the inner outer thigh. Cross stomp or side kicks to the top of the thigh. Snap kicks to the groin. Okay? And then as you go higher, okay, there might be the tie style up kick to the body and then that front kick to the chest. As you go lower, then you'll have more sweeping kicks to the ankle shin area. So as you go higher or lower, there's less of them. Not just less techniques, but less applications of the techniques. All right, so balance. What is balance? Part of balance is inner ear, that kind of thing, and it's a medical thing that we can't do anything about. The other part is proprioception, knowing where you are in space. And the other part is leg strength, okay? If you've got better squats, better lunges, better leg press, better leg extension, better leg curl, all those things, you're naturally gonna have more balance because you have more strength, okay? But even people with that can gain something from what we're about to do. There's also the strength of these smaller muscles, all right? And there's also controller strength. So if you're on a leg press and you just push the leg press and you just let the weight bring it back down, same with any of them, right? You're just letting gravity do the other side, then you're losing half of the exercise, right? It's not just the push, it's the control of the comeback. Or the pull, it's the half of the go back. So a lot of these exercises will deal with that. If you want to have a chair, okay, for the first stuff, and we'll need a chair for the second stuff. So the first thing we're gonna do, I guess I need to move back, move the dummy out of the way. Sorry, I don't have a camera person, so I'm having to do this by myself. I promise you. And I'm watching the screen to make sure you guys can see me. All right, so I'm gonna try not to use the chair, but if you have to, you can touch it, okay? The less you touch it, the less frequently you touch it, and the less contact you make when you touch it, the better, all right? So if you can, hands up, knee up, reach forward, come back, okay? Let's do that early. Up, forward, back, out. Try not to hinge at the hip. Back, behind you. Back, knee up, out. Come back in. Okay? So you're doing 4 motion, 5, you come the knee up, forward, out, back, up, out. Okay. I'm on a squishy mat, That makes it more difficult. The less squishy the mat, the better to start. Hard, flat surface is great to start. Then a puzzle mat, and then a squishy mat, and then a block. It could be a piece of 4x4, could be a concrete block, whatever. And finally, a Bosu ball, half ball. All right. So I do 5 of those. Stop the tape. All right, come back. Hey. So up, forward, out, back, up, rotate out, and it's difficult, but try leaving your torso forward and bring your leg out. Okay? So on all of this, we're trying to leave our torso where it's at and move the hip and leg independently. Okay, so once you have that, and I would do 5, 10 times, all right? Then you can make it more difficult. I'm gonna do this with tiny hand weights. You could do this with 2 bottles of water. Where are my water sticks? All right, so once you've gotten more used to that, oh, there they are. You can do different hand positions. You got weights. This could be 2 bottles of water. This could be 2 cans of beans. This could be 2 Eskrima sticks, whatever, right? Okay. Then let's say out the sides. Okay. Out in front. Okay. The hunchy position. Okay. Then vary it, you know. Any kind of odd spot your arm may be in, I would try to stay in places that you are in a kata, okay? So, you know, this is there in Sum Tao. If you're doing Taekwondo, karate katas, you might want to do some here. Okay? Just so on and so forth like that. So, there's that. And then there's calf raises, and just not jump up and jump back down. Make a nice controlled up and down, okay? To make that more difficult, you can start with a 2x4, just, you know, 16, 12 inches of 2x4. Put the balls of the feet on the 2x4, and your heels will be on the ground hanging down. And that'll give you a larger range of motion, okay? And then you can do that with hands out, hands forward, hands staggered, okay? You can do where you go all the way up, bicep curl, come back down. All the way up, tricep extension, come back down. All the way up, Arnold, come back down, okay? Okay, so next is trying to build up the strength of the controller muscles and the sides of the legs and stuff. My chair should be a little higher than this, so I'll see how I can do. We're gonna start, this is not ideal. All right. Try to stay tall on this side, on the standy side. Okay. My left leg, this leg towards you, is going to go out slowly as far as I can comfortably without leaning too much. All right. And now I'm going to make up and downs, 10 of them. Circles forward, back. Okay. I haven't done this in a while. This is for me as much as you. Side kicks, round kicks. then behind you, or then not behind you, other side. Okay. Outside. Circles, and you can put down in between. I'm leaning some. Try not to lean too much. The less you lean, the better. And even if you're only just a few inches off the floor, you're here. That's still building up the muscle. Okay, and then I do sides around on this side. Sides, rounds. You can even do hooks. Okay. Now, you notice with that, I'm only going up as far as I can control it. Now you want to swing it. So take the base leg and go back just a little bit and swing across in front of you and out. Now I'm not trying to go as high as my joint flexibility will allow me. I'm trying to go as high as my muscle control flexibility allows me. I could stand on this wall and somebody could lift my leg much higher than where I'm going right now. All right? But I don't have the muscle control for it. And that's what I'm trying to rebuild. So I'm coming across my center line. My foot is on the outside of my leg over here. Coming back out. Okay. The next thing is a box squat. You can start with a chair like this, and then eventually go down to 2 cinder blocks. Okay. So all you're going to do is you're going to squat to the chair. I'm not going to sit on the chair. I'm going to touch the chair. Touch. Come back. I'll move this. I'm going to try and move this. It's not going to work. Okay, well. So if you don't have a lot of control in this, or the chair is too low, put a phone book there. I don't know where you're going to find a phone book. Put a yoga block, a encyclopedia, comic book price guide, I don't care. Something here to make your squat higher, and then eventually lower. Okay, and then you can add weights to this. You can hold the weights up, you can hold the weights out, you can hold the weights out. Okay. You can add to it by going calf raise, box squat, calf raise, box squat, calf raise, curl, box squat. I'm sitting too much. Calf raise, curl. Okay. So all that is super basics. And I'll give you one more advanced thing. In some of the other videos I talked about finding a post you can use if you don't have a dummy or a bag. If you've got that, you can practice. This is just a gi belt. You can do it with rope. You can do it with anything that's flat like this works real well. Can't think of the name of the stuff. Well, anyways. Your other hand's up. You're going to block grab, kick, block grab, side kick, block grab, cross stomp. Now other side. Front kick, cross stomp, side kick, switch hands. Front, cross, side, front, cross, side, and I'm being lazy, this other hand should be up. Okay. You're less trying to balance with this, but it can be for balance. But this is catching the opponent's punch and then kicking them for it. If you catch that punch, they're going to expect to punch back or grapple. But you throw that kick in, there's a possibility that you kick groin, push the knee out, hit the wind out of the stomach, something like that. Great. That may end the fight. More than likely what it'll do is I've got his hand, he may be thinking about punching with the other hand, kick. Now I can, and this is really the wrist I'm grabbing here. I should have made this shorter, about right there. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Okay. Just all depending. You could knee your you could knee, if you had a longer thing that's soft, you bam, bam. But it's mostly, I've grabbed that feeler punch, kick. All right. As always, if you got any questions, hit me.